Okay, this is the Advocate Broman PB 980 neonatal section, or part 4, and this is going to be kind of a general overview. There's still a lot of more specific things that I'm going to have to do videos on, the leak compensation, the leak sense, and other things that are outside of neonatal, like the PAV Plus, which is a proportional assist, which is still some pretty amazing technology for us. So, in the event here at Advocate Broman, for our neonates, we predominantly use the Avias, but if in the event you need to use the 980s, this is what you're going to have to do. And this is not convenient. However, what you're going to need to do is remove the adult filter, remove the adult door, which just slides upwards. Go back, it goes in. There's the adult door. There is a special neonatal door. See this hole here, and this hole here. It goes on these pins here. Okay? And because it's a special neonatal filter, which just slides up from the bottom. Just fit it in there to where it's nice and snug. Door closes and you snap it shut. Okay? Now with our circuits, we had to use some adapters that came with them, because this would not fly. So use an adapter, okay, on the inspiratory limb and the expiratory limb. So you got to change the filter, change the door, add a couple adapters, and your circuit's ready to go. Alright, sorry about that, we had to pause. You know work. The phone just never stopped ringing. So here we go. We are all hooked up, used a couple adapters, changed the door, changed the filter. You're going to fire it up, and you're going to run an SST. Short self-test, and you're going to keep accepting and go into a short self-test. And for the time constraints, I'm not going to do that since I did that in part 2. And then at the third step in on your short self-test, it's going to give you the option of the adult, pediatric, or neonatal. You want to select neonatal and then go ahead and perform the SST. And that's how you get this set up. Get some adapters going, change the filter, change the door, start an SST, run it as a neonatal, and it's pretty similar to the adult. Read what it's asking you, perform the intervention. So, as far as going here, I have it in standby. What I want to do is show you a couple different options. First off, what we would do if we just wanted to use this to provide nasal CPAP, what you're going to want to do in your mode options is go to non-invasive CPAP. And then you got your PEEP. Sensitivity, let it default FiO2. You got a backup. You can set the apnea parameters. It's telling you to do that. It's telling you it's off, so you want to turn that on. What we have done is opted to not use the proximal flow pressure sensor, because in some of my research saying that condensation will have you running in circles with errors and alarms. Apparently it's just very, very sensitive to moisture. So if you're running a wet system like us, we've opted to not use it. So there's your CPAP portion. You just go into non-invasive CPAP and put in your CPAP, FiO2, and you're ready to rock. If you need a little bit more extra support, like a rate and an inspiratory pressure on top of the CPAP, you might want to try a little something like this. You can go into an invasive pressure SIMV, and then with a backup rate 20 to 30, an inspiratory pressure of 21 to 23. You can let the neonatologist drive that. I time is 0.4, pressure support 8. And what this will have in the background is leak sync. So whenever this ram cannula leaks, it will compensate for it. And it's enabled on a default. So that's pretty slick. And what we will investigate further is possibility of using a BiPAP modality on some of these neonatal interventions. But for now, what you're going to do, if you have to use this for a neonatal intervention, what you're going to do is you're going to put the neonatal circuit on it with 2 adapters on the inspiratory and expiratory limb. You're going to change the filter to a neonatal filter. You're going to change the door to a neonatal door. Run an SST as the neonatal circuit is applied. Follow the directions. Use CPAP and or pressure SIMV if you need a drive pressure. And if the baby is intubated, obviously for our region, we lean more towards a pressure SIMV. Now, for Advocate Broman respiratory care practitioners, in our assembly area, you're going to see right above the sink, these boxes here are our neonatal doors and filters, and proximal flow sensors are there. So just FYI for us, if we need it, that's where we're going to find it. So more videos to come for like PAV Plus and other potential neonatal interventions as well.